Hello, Shoyan here. In Season 5, we built a new, fully Western-style home which is finally complete. It took just over 5 months. Let's take a quick look inside. This is the 5th new home I've worked on. It's a highly airtight, well-insulated house built to long-life quality housing standards. This is my first time working on a long-life quality home. It's a bit of an upgrade. Hopefully, the added quality means the homeowner will qualify for subsidies. First, I installed a sill. Next door, they're prepping the rice fields for planting. This is just after the May holidays. The weather is perfect, great for setting the sills. It's a bit inconvenient when construction starts in bad weather or strong winds. It often seems to rain on framing day, so it's always best to start under clear skies. This house uses an air sealing method that fully seals off the crawl space. So instead of foundation vents, we use seal plate gaskets with no ventilation holes. In modern homes, we installed the subfloor on the first floor using 24mm plywood. So I embed these washers into the seals using an impact wrench. This tool is only good for washers, kind of a waste, honestly.
좋다.
These days, most homes are built with pre-cut timber. But in homes like this, where a lot of the wood is exposed, extra finishing is needed. So, like in the old days, I plane each piece by hand. For some pillars, we use stone or metal footings like these. This house's 3 entrance pillars will be placed on championship trophy-shaped footings. We wrap the plain timbers in paper for protection. Paper alone won't prevent scratches, but if it rains on framing day, the crane sling gets wet. That wet sling can leave stains on planed wood, so the paper helps prevent that. Today is the framing day, what we call Tate Mai. Thanks to the good weather during the seal installation, today is also sunny. If it only rains lightly, we just say after the rain comes the calm and keep going. But if it pours, it can be a real problem, as it's dangerous and inefficient. Clear skies are definitely best. For this project, I spent the whole day doing sling work. The experienced carpenter, who's usually in charge of this, wasn't available. Working from below gives me a good view of the overall progress. Even now, just like in the old days, we have the homeowner pour sacred sake on the ridge beam. Back in the day, families and relatives would gather for a tatemai, sort of like a festival. The homeowner would climb up for the ridge raising ceremony called Jotoshiki, and we'd throw rice cakes and other goodies. It used to be a lively event. It's much quieter now. I miss those days. Now that the framing and exterior walls are done, I install the hardware. Long life quality homes seem to need more hardware than usual. Insulating the foundation is a smart move. It keeps it from being affected by outside air. In summer, the temperature rises and the foundation can get scorching hot. Styrofoam insulation keeps that heat from getting inside, making the crawl space more comfortable. These days, subfloors use 24mm thick plywood panels, which really help reduce squeaking. But even with subflooring, if the 900mm square beams underneath aren't properly secured, the floor can still squeak. Leaving a 1mm gap on all four sides when laying the plywood helps prevent squeaking. The interior diagonal bracing goes on top of the subfloor. In the past, we used to attach it directly to the sills and beams, but this newer method is more efficient and just makes more sense. Electronic locks on entry doors are pretty common now. Ding dong. Okay, opening it now. You can even unlock the door remotely, right from your kitchen. In older houses, rainwater often leaks around window frames. But with flashing tape, leaks aren't a problem anymore. Even though it's just tape, it works even better than a craftsman's touch. Next is insulation. Not my favorite task, honestly. I use exposed 120mm thick fiberglass in the walls and ceiling throughout the house. At the same time, I work on airtight construction. That means installing an airtight membrane on the inside, taping the seams, and sealing gaps with caulk and spray foam. Next comes the attic insulation in the main roof. This part is tough. First, I install fire-resistant boards where flames might spread. Then, I lay 2 layers of 120mm thick fiberglass crossing each other. That is brutal. By the end, I feel like I'm floating on a cloud, crawling my way out from the access panel. Never want to do that again. The air sealing test results come back great. High praise for the airtightness.
すごい。間違いなくコマ1なので。
Since the weather's nice, I move on to the exterior soffit. When I opened the second floor window, a swallow flew in. 2 of them were scouting for a nesting spot. One got inside and struggled to get out. What surprised me was the other one. It waited patiently outside for 30 minutes. What a loyal pair. Swallows are said to bring good luck. Maybe something lucky's on the way. On the south side, there will be a 5-meter-long box eave. I put it together inside and carry it out to install it. That's about the longest size that's still manageable. Any longer, and it's tough to transport and install. I made a mistake during the installation. For the first time, I had to use on-site insurance. The glass didn't get installed for a while after, serving as a reminder of my slip-up. That one really stings. Next is the flooring. Before that, I installed the entrance kamachi. It's the narrowest I've ever installed to minimize the height difference between the tile and the floor. The flooring is 15mm thick hinoki cypress with live knots. Live knots come from living branches, not dead or rotten ones. The hardest part is the floor vents. Since the crawl space is airtight, instead of bringing in fresh air from outside, we circulate air between the living space and the area under the floor. The floor vents are used for that purpose. This house has 6 small, stylish vents, and installing them is a real challenge. Even with knots, the hinoki floorboards are well dried and top quality. With wood this stable, there's no risk of future gaps. Next is the staircase. Shoyan Japanese carpenter and staircases go hand in hand. I always use pine, it's my favorite. It's easy to cut, has a nice sheen when planed, and just feels special. Back in the day, we used rice husk bags to polish them. Too much shine made them slippery though, so now we apply oil instead to give them a protective finish. They used to say, one carpenter builds one staircase in one day. The same was true for closets called oshiire. They were supposed to be a one-day job. I can understand the closet, but no matter how fast you are, building a staircase in a day is impossible. This one takes me about 3 days, but working with pine makes it worth it. When building a pine staircase, I always carefully choose each thread. This is my favorite part. I wish I could just decide quickly, but I always end up rearranging the boards, about 3 times actually. Back in the day, I'd sit down, smoke a cigarette, and think it over. But I can't do that anymore. Smoking's not allowed on site, and I quit anyway. Still, choosing solid wood like this is one of the real joys of carpentry, especially with pine. Every board has its own grain and feel. That uniqueness is exactly why I love working with it. Next, I build a pony wall above the staircase to prevent falls. It's going to have a traditional style. Since the exposed pillars are part of the design, the wall panels won't fully cover them. The trim around it gives it that classic Showa era look from before 1989. Back then, this kind of trimmed finish was standard. Next is another pony wall on the overlook. This one is also for safety and it supports a counter. This countertop is pretty long, 2,700 millimeters. It can be used as a study desk or a coffee table. Totally up to the family. It's a shared space for everyone. Open ceilings are very popular now. They give the house a light, airy feeling. To an old school carpenter like me, it can feel like wasted space because you could fit a whole room up there. But open spaces like this really help bring families closer together. Next up are the window jamb extensions. As always, I use quarter-sawn solid wood. Quarter-sawn boards are great because they're much less likely to expand, shrink, or warp. It's a small detail. The growth rings are evenly spaced front to back, but it makes a big difference. All the interior joinery in this house is made of solid wood. The finish is going to be bold and colorful, which should be fun. That's another benefit of solid wood. You can get creative with the finishes. Most of the ceilings in this house are wallpapered, except the kitchen. There, I use cedar boards with no knots. The beams and drop bulkhead are exposed with wallpapered ceiling panels in between. I think it's going to look great. Now, I move on to the kitchen area. It faces the dining space, but it's not a typical open kitchen. It's surrounded by a pony wall with a breakfast bar at the front. Functionally, it's the same as an open kitchen. In front of it, there will be a low breakfast bar made from the same wood as the counter on the second floor overlook. It's perfect for small families as it's easy to eat here and chat while cooking. Spaces like this matter. Homes used to be all about having as many separate rooms as possible, but this house has an open concept first floor, which fits modern family life better. Next is the entrance. It's compact, but it's got tons of storage. With 7 shelves, it can hold 50 to 60 pairs of shoes. That's a lot. I install a display shelf and a handrail on the wall. I would have liked to use a round handrail, but they're tough to make, so I go with an octagonal one instead. Round ones feel nice, but they need to be thin to grip well. With a slightly angular handrail, your hand naturally finds a grip even if it's thicker. Plus, the defined edges look better visually. Now I'm working on the partition wall, which will have arched entryways. Even though it's just an arch, it gives me a hard time. I cut 2 pieces for the arch, cover both sides with M-cloth panels, and reinforce the bottoms with flexible plywood. Even with a tight curve, flexible plywood bends surprisingly well. Finally, I move on to the exterior to build an American-style wood deck, the final project. The timber has been molded by a lumber mill. The structure is made of 105mm by 105mm Hinoki cypress. Since it's American style, there's a railing in the front. At first, I wasn't sure what it'd look like. I was told the deck would lead to the front door, and one side would be like a nureien, a traditional Japanese veranda. I'd never built a deck leading to the front door before, but I figured I'd give it a shot. The neighbor across the street was going to build something similar, so I was thinking of using theirs as a reference. In the end, we started ours first. Now, I've got to make sure ours looks even better. The white deck isn't a problem, but the stairs also use the same timber, so I have to think through a few things. Since there's no roof above, maintenance will be key. I make some adjustments, like drilling drainage holes between the deck boards. Regular screws aren't ideal because water can pool in the heads and seep into the wood. So instead, I use large, round panhead screws as they help keep water out and extend the deck's life. From the front, the White House with its white railing really gives off that American vibe. But when you walk around to the side, you can see it's actually a normal Japanese-style noreien. Oh well, no need to overthink it. I'm proud I pulled off the American-style deck. It turned out great in its own way. So what do you think? Does it feel American style to you? At first, I wasn't sure if I could make it work, but it came together nicely. The homeowner's happy, and that makes me happy too. The whole house has a charming, thoughtful design. Especially the entrance, it feels like a tunnel with those two arches. Very stylish. Each room also has its own unique door color. It takes guts to commit to design choices like that. Usually, builders or companies push back, so it's hard to make your vision a reality. But this house got it right. It turned out beautifully. That wraps up Season 5 of the new Western Style Home. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.